Today's episode is sponsored by Julie. You are not a coffee drinker, and neither am I. We don't drink coffee.
Look at us.
And I sometimes people look at me sideways when I tell them I don't drink coffee.
Yeah.
Do people look at
Yeah.
you sideways?
People find it very odd that I don't
Yeah.
drink coffee.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Why don't you drink coffee?
Makes my tummy hurt.
Oh, okay. And are
Pretty
you
much it.
are you a are you naturally a morning person?
I wouldn't say I'm a morning person, and I wouldn't say I'm a night person. There's a
Oh,
solid 3 hours of the day that I properly exist. Everything else.
would that be the hours between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m., would you say?
No, I'm real sleepy around that time.
Oh, okay. What are
I
the
think my solid time is like 3 to 6.
3 to 6? Uh-huh.
I'm having a great time around that time.
And what's happening? What's your 3 to 6 p.m. routine?
The excitement is coming because I'm almost off of work.
Uh-huh.
So feelings are up.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I get home, I eat, feelings
Uh-huh.
up.
Uh-huh.
I have some time to do a little bit of writing or a little bit of things that I need to do.
Uh-huh.
And then I gotta get ready for the next day, and it's all downhill from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Solid 3 hours
Yeah.
that
Now,
I'm doing great.
does that change depending on the time of the year? So like when it's dark by like 5 o'clock, does that change? Do you still like the 3 to 6 time frame?
When it gets dark at 5, I have 0 hours of the day that I'm a functioning human being.
Ah, mm-hmm.
Because by the time I'm getting off of work, we're already getting dark.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
The getting dark at 5 really does fuck with my brain. Does it fuck with yours?
I don't like it at all.
I'm
I
like,
mean,
well, day's over.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure it fucks my brains to some capacity, but I don't like it at all.
I
Like
used to really
at
love
all.
it. I used to love it, but I think I used to love it because it just meant that the weather was going to get colder.
Mm,
And so it like is a little trigger of my head in my head of like, oh, we're
mm-hmm.
gonna get the good, cozy weather.
Uh-huh. I like it. I like it when like the holidays are happening and there's no like
Mm,
work, you know?
right,
I don't like it when I'm on a routine.
right. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Riveting.
I don't drink coffee because I don't like the taste of coffee.
Oh, okay.
I would need it to be really sweet, and
Oh,
I don't want to do that.
right.
Although I think if I started drinking it, I could get past the I don't like it enough.
Mm,
Um, and I don't want to do that either. I've had tea for like caffeine purposes,
yes.
and sometimes it gets me like I've had instances where it's like too much, and
Oh, really?
I don't want to feel like that.
Interesting. I feel like caffeine has zero effect on me.
Maybe you're not drinking the right one, the right
I,
type of
I've
caffeine.
I've before I've drank black
Oh,
coffee.
uh-huh. Yeah.
Because I am the opposite. I don't like things very sweet. And so
Mm,
I've drank black coffee, and I don't feel any
mm,
different.
yeah. Yeah, no. I have my family are all of them are big coffee drinkers. And I
Mm,
have very distinct memories of my of like in every doesn't matter who, what, where, when, why, or what time of year or how hot it is, the question
mm.
always comes up. ¿Quién quiere café? Who wants coffee?
Interesting.
And so they're big coffee drinkers. And I remember my one of my aunts just used to pour in the sugar into her coffee. And I'm like,
That's how my dad is.
that can't be great, right?
And at this
And
point, you're just drinking sugar.
yeah, yeah. And listen, I have a massive sweet tooth. If
Uh-huh.
you want to give me chocolate, if you want to give me baked goods, cake, anything like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
I I I'll do whatever you want.
Oh, tell me more.
Whatever you want, okay? And
Oh,
so
exciting.
So I'm already eating all of that stuff. And so thinking about adding coffee to it is a little bit, I think it's too much. And
Interesting.
some may say the cookies that I'm eating are already too much. But you know what? YOLO. And so
Because you're not drinking coffee.
because I'm
Can't be
not
too
drinking
much.
coffee.
Can't be too
Um,
much.
but I do love, love the smell of coffee. I
Same.
love the smell of coffee.
Same.
And I love other coffee type like flavored things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love a little bit of a coffee ice cream, or I'll love
Mm-hmm.
like sometimes there's like those like espresso chocolate covered somethings.
Yeah.
I'll eat one or two of those. Yeah.
I love the idea of being a
Mhm.
coffee drinker. I
Mm.
love a coffee shop.
Love, yeah, I love the idea of being a coffee drinker is probably one of the most appealing
Yes.
things
Yes.
ever.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it is actually very appealing. I hope one day to be with a man who is obsessed with coffee and wants to have
Yeah.
coffee every day and is making it in the house, because I would love to wake up to the smell of coffee, but I
Right.
don't want to. I don't want to drink your coffee.
Right.
So
Same.
okay, well, welcome to You, Me, and Chisme, your number one source for chisme on the internet, by non-coffee drinkers but lovers of
That's
coffee. Julie and Adrian here. Julie,
mhm.
how are you?
Hi. I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. I love your hair today. Love
Thank you
it.
so much.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. That's very
I
kind.
I really do. Don't roll your eyes at me.
I did. Someone go to our YouTube and please be aware that I definitely did not roll my eyes at Adrian. You know what? You used to be able to get away with your lies because we didn't record these as videos, and now you can't. Head over to our YouTube and make sure that I did not roll my eyes at Adrian. Thank you. How dare you try to make a fool out of me in front of our listeners?
Nobody's a fool around here except for the
Yeah.
two of us.
Yeah. Together. Yeah.
Together.
Together.
Okay. Okay, great. We're
Oh,
good.
guess what I did today?
Oh, what did you do?
I bought my flights to Amsterdam.
Wait, I thought you were going to London.
We're going to Amsterdam first. Oh, look at this trip. We're going to go to Amsterdam,
Uh-huh.
then we're going to stop at Brussels, and then we're
Uh-huh.
going to London to see Hosier.
Wow. Now, do you like Brussels sprouts?
I do like Brussels sprouts.
Okay. Okay.
And then I'm coming home. Very exciting stuff.
How long is this trip?
From the 7th to the 17th, 18th.
From the 7th to the 18th.
Yeah.
Wow. 11 days.
Yeah.
In December?
December. In
December.
December.
Okay.
December.
Wow. Okay. But did you put in your, did you like get it the time off approved, or?
It'll be fine.
Okay.
Cut to me asking for it off literally a week before, like I
Yeah.
did last year.
Did you ask Angie?
Um,
Because Angie takes care of our schedules here at Yumi and Cheese May.
I did not. I'll
Um,
have to run it by her, producer
which
Angie.
she never shows up to work, so nobody actually is checking our schedules. Uh,
Which is why sometimes we don't even show up.
right.
So
Not this week. We made it this
that
week.
we made it. It
We
was touch and go for
clocked
a
in.
little bit. Yeah, it was touch and go for a little bit, but we did make it in.
Okay, and the highlight of the trip is to go see
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Hosier.
I'm gonna say it's Hosier.
Hosier. Hosier.
I think you're saying it different as me, but I don't necessarily
Okay, you
think
say it
my way
again.
is right. I don't know if my way is right.
We'll say it.
Well, now now there's too much pressure.
Oh,
Hosier, Hosier.
Hosier.
I think we're
Hosier.
saying it different.
You say it, and then I'm trying to mimic what you say.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Hosier.
Hosier.
You say to me, it sounds like you're saying Hosier.
And what are you saying?
Hosier. That sounds different in my ear.
Hmm. Interesting.
Oh God. We're off to a great start this
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah. And hello Candace. You're gonna go see Candace as
Hello,
well.
Candace. Yes, I'm gonna go see Candace. We're very excited. I'm very excited. I need to get away from here.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I need some
Absolutely.
time away.
Yeah. Not from us, just
Right.
from here. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
love
need to go
everybody
away.
here who
I
listens to us.
love every single human,
Yes.
but I do need some space away
Yeah.
from all of them.
Right. And will you maybe possibly be seeing my favorite Irishman?
Oh, no, no, because I'm flying into Amsterdam and Candace will already be, we're flying in around the same time to Amsterdam. And then we're not, if you noticed, I said Amsterdam, Brussels, and London.
Okay.
Ireland, it unfortunately doesn't fit
I
in
don't know.
the.
Maybe he was gonna go too. That's
No,
fine.
no, this is a girls' trip.
I guess I
I
won't.
like how immediately I was like, no, 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 no.
I guess I won't send the gift.
Oh, sorry, Karen. I'm still seeing Candace,
Okay.
who will it will eventually get to him.
Kieran is Candace's husband.
Husband,
Yeah.
yes. Who
Julie's.
Adrian is in love with a little bit.
I mean, I think we have a connection. That's all.
I agree,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
I honestly think Candace would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it's. Listen, he's not texting me. I'm just saying we have a
right.
connection.
Mm-hmm. And I'm agreeing with that information.
Okay. Ask Candace. Let's see what she thinks.
Okay.
Maybe I should go to Ireland
She told ya.
to keep an eye while you guys are gone. Just saying.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Interesting.
Provide company.
Mm-hmm.
A laugh.
So a laugh. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Great. I'm excited for you, Julie.
Wonderful. I'm excited for me too. You know what I want to do next year though? Something to just put in your little brain. You see
Uh-huh.
where it lands. I want to
Uh-huh.
go to Mexico in October for
Oh.
Day of the Dead. You should
Oh.
come with me. You told Candace about it too.
Okay.
And I am producer Angie. I know I haven't told you, but I'm on my way to doing that. I want to do a little cute little trip.
You should I guess your birthday is at the beginning of the month.
I know, I
Mm.
know,
Well, you
or
could
else I
wait.
would.
You could do it you could make it your birthday trip at the end of the month.
That's true. We'll have to figure it out.
I'm a
But I
high
do.
I'm a high maintenance traveler, just letting you know. I just don't
That's
want there to
okay.
be any surprises.
That's okay. Candace is more high maintenance than I am, and we travel
Okay.
really well together.
Okay.
I'm pretty laid back. I'm good at traveling with high maintenance people because I'm so laid back that I'm willing to do whatever other
Mm-hmm.
people prefer doing. You know what I mean?
Mm,
You know what I
mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the end of you, me, and Chisme after we get back from that trip.
Well,
Anyway.
it was a good run. Somebody pointed out to me the other day,
Mhm.
um, that I think we're coming up on 5 years since we started doing a podcast.
Shut
Could
up.
that be, is that right? Did I give them the wrong dates?
That's
Hold on,
crazy.
hold on.
I'm holding.
No, yeah, because we started this in late 2018.
Ooh, bestie. There's no way I'd know that.
Well, I'm
Mm.
telling you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, now listen, because I'm gonna look up right now when we posted our first episode, which used to be called, for those of you who are new here,
Mhm.
our podcast used to be called what is it called? What was it? It's called
Tres
Tres Leches.
leches.
It
Tres
was called Tres
leches.
Leches.
Which
Um,
honestly, a fucking clever ass podcast.
it was a
So
brilliant
clever.
name. It was a brilliant name.
So fucking
It was
clever.
brilliant. We posted our first episode as Tres Leches on November 8th, 2018. So we're coming up on
Wow.
5 years since we've been doing some type of podcast. And we need to do something to celebrate, I think.
What should we do?
I
Make
don't
out?
know. Okay. I've made out with a girl before.
Okay. I've made out with a boy before.
Oh. I mean, it was she's a friend, and it was like I've never kissed a girl. And
Same.
and when I sing Katy Perry's "I Kissed a Girl," I really wanted to.
Now it's
I
your
didn't want to
story.
be disingenuous. Like, I don't want to be in the
Right.
car, that song comes on, and somebody's like, "You've never kissed a girl," and I was like, "Yeah, I have," and that was the whole reason
Right.
why I wanted to kiss a girl.
Wow. And you did that.
Yeah.
You did that. Awesome.
Um,
We should do something. How should we, what should we do?
I don't
Guys, send
know.
us DMs. What should we do to celebrate 5 years of podcasts? Isn't that crazy?
It is a little crazy. Should we post our nudes?
Okay.
Just kidding.
Um, that is so wild. If you've been listening since we were a trio, please send us a DM. I would love to know why. Why? Why?
You know what we should do? We should have a tribute to ourselves. everybody send in why you love us so much, and we'll
Yeah,
play it
yeah.
on air. And then
Everyone send in your favorite memories of us, and your favorite thing about us individually and together. Oh, this is about to be just like a great thing for my self-esteem. Everyone send in some DMs. We should actually hold off to those. You know what? Re-listen to some episodes. November 1st, we're gonna start asking for them. You guys think I'm kidding, but I'm not. I want you guys to really think of your favorite memory of us, and then you can send it in. My personal memory of us is, I'll have to think about it.
Okay.
I'll have to think about it. But we've laughed so hard on this podcast.
Yeah, we have.
It's been the best of times.
Yeah. I get 5 years. So much
Wow.
has happened.
So much. So much.
So
So much
much.
has happened just within the podcast, let alone the world. Let alone we were three, guys. We were three.
There were three of us. Yeah.
They were at
And
some
then there
point.
were two.
And then there were two.
And next thing you know, it's only going to be one.
Next thing you know, it's just going to be Julie being like, so he called it quits. He said he doesn't want to come on anymore, guys.
That's not true. That's not true. Julie, every 2 months, Julie's like, "This is it." Well, he's not gonna want to do this anymore.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. For sure. For sure. I pushed him over the edge.
And
He's
yeah,
not coming back from
every
this.
single time
He continues to show up.
Let it be a lesson.
That'd be a lesson.
I'm loyal.
100%. He's so loyal. Because if I have pushed with all my might. Okay. And he's stuck it out. White knuckles and all. He said, I'm gonna hold on to, I don't know where you think you're fucking going, but I'm holding on to you. Yeah, what a ride it's been. How crazy, 5 years.
5
Remember when we
years.
used to see each other to record these?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah. Very
Crazy.
wild.
Thank you, Zoom.
I know.
Zoom
I was just telling. Oh, by the way, I need to tell you. Okay. Zach from who we that's right. Zach, who we've interviewed, who I dated once upon a time.
Oh, Zach. Yes. I do know Zach. That wasn't a joke. I really do know Zach. I remember it.
So I had dinner with Zach and his lovely fiance the other day. And Zach, I forgot, I'm telling you this so I remember that I need to tell you. Zach sent me a link on how to do the subtitles. So remind me.
Zach, you angel sent from heaven itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remind me I need to.
Zach, coming through once again for us.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. That's great to hear, because I was already crying a little bit at the thought of having to subtitle everything.
I personally have not. The link is in my in my messages.
Okay.
So I'm gonna send that.
Okie dokes.
Mental note.
Appreciated. I will try to remind you.
Okay.
Great.
All right. Anything else you want to tell the world?
No, that's pretty much it. What about you? Anything fun, exciting?
Well,
no.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna get right into our topic.
Okay.
Everyone, this is a very special occasion.
Uh-huh.
Adrian doesn't know what our topic is because I didn't want to tell him.
Okay.
But he was about to get into it accidentally. But this is a very special occasion. Everyone get close to the speakers because you're about to experience something that only few get to experience. And that is hearing Adrian describe an event that he went to in detail. So Adrian went to the Beyonce concert,
Uh-huh.
and now we get to hear in detail all about it.
Uh-huh.
The floor is yours, Adrian. Thank you so much.
Um, did you do this so that I would have no choice but to talk about it?
100%.
Julie thinks I'm a psycho, by the
I
way.
don't think you're a psycho, but I do think that this is a significant event in both of our lives and our listeners' lives,
Yeah.
because seldom can they say, I know about something that Adrian went through. So now they'll be able to say, I know
Uh-huh.
Adrian a little more intimately. And I've
Uh-huh.
now forgotten what the inside
Uh-huh.
of Julie's vagina looks like, right? Because I've basically bared it all to you guys.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah.
today we get to hear about Adrian.
Yeah. I went to the Renaissance World Tour on Monday, September 4th, 2023.
Mhm.
Uh, B Day. It happens to be Beyonce's birthday. Now, let me backtrack a little bit. Let me
Okay.
take you back to 2019.
Oh, okay. Oh, this is a journey.
November 17th, I believe, 2019. I posted on my Instagram, I posted a video on my story of of when I met Beyonce. And listener and my friend Brian was like, he's like, I can't wait to hear about this. I've talked about it before. I had to remind Brian that I've talked about this before. And I had the opportunity to meet Beyonce at work. I escorted her around the museum, and I was her and her people's one escort, and it was a very magical, incredible out of body experience. She was the
Mhm.
nicest person. She was very uh genuine and sweet and thankful and just very, very nice. And so that moment lives within me, and
Mhm.
never leaves me. um so cut to the World Renaissance Tour, um and there I am, crying, tears falling down both of my cheeks when she first came out. And then because she sang Dangerously in Love, and then she did this whole speech about um you know being 42 and her birthday and blah 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 blah. And there, I mean, it was just very overwhelming, and over the energy was incredibly overwhelming, and just a lot to feel. And so yeah, and there I was at the just and then 3 hours later it was over. it was it was incredible.
Okay. Can you guys tell that Adrian doesn't do this often?
I
What happened in the middle of that, Adrian?
um what happened?
Okay, what was your favorite part? No, don't get to that yet. No, don't get to that yet. Did you see Blue?
I did see Blue did come out and perform. Yes.
What
Yeah.
did you think about that? Any
Incredible.
feelings? Okay, great.
She
Uh-huh.
was, I mean, the legendary Blue
The
Ivy
legendary.
Carter, as
Yes.
her mom refers to her, which is crazy because she's what, 11 years old, and
Yeah.
she is, it was incredible. Okay, Beyonce, well, first of all, let me just say
Okay.
that um Kate Tronada opened for her. He did a DJ set, which I am obsessed with that man. I love
Okay.
him.
Oh.
And nobody knew who was going to come out. Usually she has a DJ set at all her shows. And the first 2 nights in LA were DJ Khaled, which thank God we were not, we were
Yeah.
not what's the word? We didn't have to sit through that. We got
Yeah.
Kate Tronada, so I think we won. Um and I just love him so much. I really
Mm.
do. If you've never
I've
listened to Kate
I've
Tronada,
never even heard.
what?
That's not even a name that sounds familiar in my ears.
I think you need to leave.
Oh my God.
What?
Well, fuck me then.
You've never?
No.
Okay. I need to write this down.
Oh,
Um Send Julie Catronata.
how long have is that a man or a woman?
It's a
Or are they?
man.
Okay.
He's a queer French Canadian. I think he's
Oh, that guy. I mean, I've never Catronata. That's not a, is that how you say it?
Catronata.
Is that not what I said?
I'm just Catronata, yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's not, those are not sounds that make sense to my ear.
Okay. Well,
Hmm.
I will share with you.
Okay.
Um
Deep apologies. I did not know that was going to be a controversial statement.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm
Uh
sorry.
it's okay. We're okay. It's okay.
You sure?
Yeah. So Kate Tronada opened. It was
Uh-huh.
wonderful. Um and she also Beyonce bills herself as her own opener, main act, and encore. Because
Hmm.
the way the show is put on, she comes out and she does ballads only. Like,
Oh,
who does that? Where they're opening up the show and it's just ballads and it's just her on the stage singing,
I love that.
and the energy is insane. It
I
was
bet.
crazy. um Let me tell you something about what happened. Have you seen the video
Okay.
of how she saw Tia Mowry in the audience? What,
No. I
who
kind
are
of
you?
I
I'm sorry.
I'm feeling a lot of judgment today.
Okay.
A lot of judgment today. I
Okay.
don't know why, and I don't know what I did. Let's
I'm
remember
sorry.
that we are only human.
My algorithm is completely biased. Let me tell you something.
Okay, I'll
So
allow it.
Beyonce starts with Dangerously in Love, and then she
Okay.
does her little speech, which has me in tears. And then she does Flaws and All. And then she walks over to the piano to do 1+1.
Okay.
Um, and when she is at the piano, she's sitting on the piano, and there's 2 sections lit on the stage where people can sit. I think those were the most expensive tickets. And so she's at the piano. She looks over at the crowd that's standing on the stage, and it's Tia Mowry from Sister Sister, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She looks over her. She blows her a kiss. She's like, "I love you." You can see her mouth the words. They're having a moment, right? And in that very moment, it's an instrumental section of the song
Mm-hmm.
where she's about to do some riffs. She's gonna,
Mm-hmm.
ah.
Mm-hmm.
She sees Tia and immediately starts to sing a song that is from a girl group that Tia and Tamara were in that nobody knows about.
I did know about that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. Tia
And she,
posted about it, right?
yeah, and she's who, this woman is insane.
Yeah.
Who thinks of that?
Yeah.
And she just works it into the song. How are you going to look at Tia and be like, oh yeah, that song, and then start to sing it in your song and it still makes sense?
When you were in the building, did you know what was happening or did
I
you
was like,
know?
what is she doing right now? I
Oh,
don't know
interesting.
this part of the song.
Yeah, yeah.
um but but also there was so much happening that I
Yeah.
in the moment I remember thinking like, wait, I don't know this. But also it's Beyonce, so she's doing whatever she's going to do. And also she's about to go into another cover,
Yeah.
which interestingly enough is a Mary J. Blige song. It's Going Down, right? And the first time I ever became aware of that song was on Sister Sister, because I think it
Uh-huh.
was
There is an
Tamara,
episode.
or
Yeah,
maybe it
yeah.
was Tia. I don't know which one it was, but there's an episode on Sister Sister, a talent show episode, and one of the twins sings
Mm-hmm.
that song that Beyonce was just about to sing. And that was the first time I had become of consciousness to that song. And it's one of the most beautiful songs, I think, ever
The
created.
longevity of that song, they just did a bit with it on Abbott Elementary
Oh
when
yeah, I
Ava sings
mean,
it.
it's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. Anyways, so yes, so that happened. Diana Ross came out
I saw
and
that.
saying happy birthday. I will say the mics were not working. Beyonce's mic
That's
was
what I,
on the
because Kendrick's
entire time.
wasn't, right?
Yeah, no, when Diana Ross first came out, her mic wasn't on. And then when Kendrick came on, his mic also had some problems. But I mean, as long as Beyonce's mic was working,
I
that's really
mean,
why we were there.
yeah.
So she does her ballads and then she goes, and then it's time for the Renaissance.
Oh wow.
And
Is there between the ballads and the Renaissance, is there like a long way? Is it silent? Is it really like an opener? You know how they come on stage, they leave, it's
no,
quiet.
she has visuals and music
Okay.
playing in between all of the different sections of the tour,
Mm.
which didn't feel long to me, because sometimes you're like, you mind you, she's getting dressed and she's taking photos, because all those photos that you see is before she goes, that she posts
Mm-hmm.
on Instagram, are photos that she's taking before she hits the stage. Anyways,
Right.
um, she uh, she had, what I think was so brilliant was that the sections where she was getting changed, she's
Mm-hmm.
playing remixes of her songs that are like house remixes. Not every single time,
Mm-hmm.
but she's playing a lot of her music that have been like turned into house dance remixes, which I thought was incredible. And there's visuals, and it's stunning and awesome. And it's like it's meant to be part of the show, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And obviously you're going to get a lot of different types of people who go to these concerts.
Yeah.
People who maybe really only know Renaissance, people who have known, been with Beyonce since before, since Destiny's Child. And so I, I'm there listening and watching, and I'm like, this woman is giving us a show every single second of this
Mm-hmm.
performance. Even when she's not on stage, these remixes are things I've never heard, these visuals are things I've never seen, and it's so beautifully, just well executed and well done. Such a production. It's
Yeah.
one lifetime. It's a cultural moment that I think people will be talking about for many, 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 many years to come. I think Beyonce's, I don't this is what Beyonce should be doing and should be putting out at this point in her career. She
Mm-hmm.
is the biggest pop star in the world, the most famous woman in the world, an illustrious, high quality career, and that is
Yeah.
the show that we watched.
Awesome. That's
What
amazing.
other
I mean,
questions do you have?
it
AMA.
looked amazing. I had questions and they all left my brain. Um, I asked you about Blue.
Well, let
I
me tell you this.
uh,
I went with my dearest, dearest, dearest friends, Alex and Christian,
mhm.
um, and a dear friend, Bees, who is Alex's best friend from college. And we had the time of our lives.
Mm,
Um, and it was so incredibly special to experience it with them and to go through this, and to see this album performed in person was so fulfilling
mm,
and full circle moment.
yeah.
It came out in July 2022, too. And so much has happened in that time. And this
Mm-hmm.
album has provided a soundtrack to the last year.
Yeah.
It's been an escape. It's been a release. It's
Mm-hmm.
been I've listened to it at the highest of highs and lowest of lows. And just to be there to like and experience this, and like also kind of just to like release so much of
Mm-hmm.
the past year in this moment was very like awe-inspiring, and probably why I was crying at the beginning, because like
Right.
there's just so much. And also I love that woman.
Yeah.
I love her. And I think, I mean, I've always loved her, but like having met her and having been around her and having experienced how nice she is.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know each other. She doesn't
No.
remember me, but like
No.
that is that it's it is it's incredible. It's an incredible, incredible, incredible feeling. And like on this, and she made an album that I think is her best.
Mm-hmm.
I think something that not a lot of people can make or can
Agreed.
do. And not just in the sense of how it sounds and how incredible she is singing.
Yeah.
She is singing like she has never sung before in her entire life.
I agree.
She is at the top of her game. And 42 is not old.
No.
It is far from it.
No.
But and and to think that she still has so much more time and things to give to us is
Mm-hmm.
actually really kind of crazy. Um, but she made an album for for queer people of color, for Black queer people, that um in such a um in like such a forthright type of way, where it's like, here is like, I'm doing this for you. um
Right. And with a lot of respect.
and with a lot of respect,
Yeah.
a lot of respect. um and it's, I mean, I think it's just incredible.
I love that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. How did you and your section do on the mute challenge?
Well, not just my section, the whole
It
stadium.
was
Did you
pretty good.
see? It
It
was,
was pretty good.
it was really good.
There was a couple of stragglers, but it was pretty good.
It was
Well, out of the
silent.
3 nights, it was the best.
Yeah, it was silent in my section.
Good.
Very silent. No, and she did it twice, by the way. She
Oh,
tricked
did
us.
she?
Well, she did it again just when she was like talking, and it went silent.
Nice.
To think that 60, 70,000 people,
Yeah.
like how silent it was in there,
Yeah.
the power she commands.
I mean, that's crazy. It still didn't beat Atlanta though, because I was
Okay,
rewatching
I don't
Atlanta's.
know about.
Wait, give me a
Mhm.
moment. It wasn't. Atlanta's is eerie how quiet it goes. Like Atlanta gave me chills with how quiet it goes in an instant. It's so crazy. But I will say the birthday show of LA was the best out of the 3 nights. And it was, I would say, second to Atlanta.
I'm gonna say first, but tomato, tomato, right?
Right, sure.
Uh-huh.
Sure. I just rewatched the videos just yesterday, so it's fresh on my mind. And someone made an edit of all of them from her
I've seen
first
them.
night of tour, the Europe one. All the Europe dates.
Yeah,
Besties,
I
y'all
mean,
didn't get it.
I don't blame the first couple of shows, because like they didn't
They had no
know.
idea what was
There's
happening.
no excuse now.
But her face was like, y'all didn't get it.
Yeah.
You didn't get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but great. I'm so glad you had a blasty
Thank you.
blast.
Can we
Did
just?
it feel, uh-huh.
Oh no, go ahead.
Don't forget your question.
I'm not.
Or what were you gonna say? I was gonna say, did it feel like a 3 hour show?
No, I mean, no, because first of all, it's paced really well, where she's not performing all of the songs, obvious, or she's not performing the entirety of all of the songs, right? Because she has
Right.
so
She
many
does a lot of
songs.
medleys.
She has so many songs to choose
Mhm.
from. That I mean, just within the 3 hours, there were still so many songs she could have performed. My favorite Beyonce song is Deja Vu. There was no Deja Vu, you
Oh,
know?
there wasn't.
No. And
That's
so
been on like all her tours.
I know, but maybe for
Damn.
Act Two. But
My favorite Beyonce song, not that anyone else, is Don't Hurt Yourself from Lemonade.
oh,
That's my
interesting.
favorite Beyonce song.
Interesting.
I love that fucking song.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Did you feel like she gave you a little taste of every album, or was it heavy on one end?
Well, obviously heavy on Renaissance.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, there was a little bit of everything. I I mean, I wanted, what I wanted,
Tell
which
me.
I knew wasn't gonna happen, but like on B Day, uh um it Get Me Bodied starts with like it's like the 9 4,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's how she should start the show, you know but
Oh yeah.
obviously, like, she already has the show planned. Anyways, um
She forgot to consult you.
she
So
did.
yeah.
Yeah, no, she gave us a little bit of everything. Yeah, no single ladies, which was great because
Yeah, I don't love it. I don't love it. I love it for her, but I
yeah,
don't love it.
yeah,
I don't love it. I love that it's so successful that
yeah,
she could probably live off of just that one song for the rest of her
probably.
life.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
Halo, thank God.
Oh, good. Good, good, good.
Um, yeah, yeah, but I mean, um, it's just wild to think that we are alive during the time of Beyonce,
Yeah, how
because
lucky are we?
she is a once in a lifetime, and anybody who is anybody was there.
Yes, they were.
Let me first start and say that the first people I saw was Chris Jenner.
Oh,
Um
uh-huh.
and then I noticed Kim and North. And then I noticed Lizzo, and then I noticed Chloe. And then after that, it was too much to be able to point people out.
Mm.
But Zendaya,
Anyone who's
Quinta,
anyone was there.
um, obviously Kylie and Timothy came out.
Made out like they
Um,
were waiting in line for a roller coaster at Six Flags.
yeah.
Yeah.
um, Rosie O'Donnell was there in Club
Oh, uh-huh.
Renaissance.
Uh-huh. Vanessa
Uh,
Hudgens was there.
Vanessa Hudgens. I saw Christian and I saw Greta Lee when
Mm.
we were leaving. So we said hi to her, and she looked gorgeous. Um I mean Adele was there, although I haven't seen
Yeah.
photos, but
I haven't seen photos of her, but she had mentioned that she would be
yeah.
there.
The list is endless,
Yeah, everybody who is
endless,
everybody was there.
endless of who was there. I also just want to point something out.
Okay.
Um Chris Jenner
Mhm.
is Chris Jenner was with Beyonce
I
on
saw
Labor
that.
Day. No, I'm
I
not on
saw
Labor
that.
Day. On the Sunday before, the day before.
I thought it was the day after.
No, it was the day before on
Okay.
Sunday. Chris Jenner, and
Hmm.
also if you've seen the newest season of the Kardashians, she references, or I forget which season it was, but the Hulu version, Chris Jenner says, "Oh, I'm going to Beyonce's birthday party." Chris Jenner is, I think, very involved or very good friends with Beyonce and her world. And
I think
I,
so too.
and I don't even think so anymore. The proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
Um, which I think is interesting, not surprising, but also I want to know more. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm going to assume that Kim is also um Like I think him and Beyonce chat when they're in
I would
person.
say, oh, okay.
Not
Uh,
like they're not calling each other on the phone, but I think when they're together, I think they are. I think that they would say,
cordial.
I would say maybe even more than cordial. I think they're very friendly with each other.
Interesting. Um, maybe.
I mean,
Ooh, sorry, maybe, but I do think if anyone is closer to Beyonce, it's Kris Jenner,
of course, yes.
and I think Kim is maybe close-ish because of association, and because she was married to Kanye, and Kanye and Jay-Z were very close at that time, and things and relationships in Hollywood. But I don't think that they're super close. Only because I saw, did you see Northwest's video?
Yeah,
Only because Northwest seemed very excited to be in front of Beyonce.
sure,
Then I'm like, oh, it's not like that. It may be like that, but it's not like that, you
sure,
know?
sure, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, anyways, I thought that was interesting. I would like to thank Christian and Alex and Bees for being the most wonderful people in the universe and for being so generous and kind and such a good time. And
Lovely.
um, it fills my heart with so much
Mm, that's beautiful.
joy.
Hmm.
You have absolutely no idea
Right.
how much um joy was in my heart that day.
I believe it. I would have loved my heart to be filled with joy, but I guess my invite it got lost. It got lost, probably. The text message didn't come through. I must have been it must have been one of those days where I didn't have service. But I'm glad you're I'm glad I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm glad you had a good time. It looked
Thank
like a
you.
blast. I loved seeing your videos on your Instagram stories. And I'm sure everyone that listens to us is so happy to know you a little bit more after this episode.
I mean,
And they get to
literally learned
see
nothing about me other than the fact that I love Beyonce.
that is a fact that is interesting about you.
Yeah.
And now
Well,
everyone knows it.
okay.
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 Okay, then.
Okay. If people really wanted to know something, they can ask.
Maybe they're like, well, he doesn't like sharing stuff. Maybe he won't like sharing this. You don't know what people are thinking. You don't know what they're going through. I'm just saying, I'm sure they're all so happy that you're sharing a little bit about your experience with Beyonce. And it's like we were all there because none of us were because we didn't get invited.
I'm sure a
But
lot of people,
but
I'm sure a lot of
our
people who listen
listeners,
also went
our
to go
maybe
see.
our listeners didn't. And like
No, I'm
me, our
sure.
listeners and me got to stay home and wait for Adrian to upload an Instagram feed so that I could feel like I was there.
Mm,
But I wasn't there.
well, you're welcome.
Okay, well, thanks.
You're very welcome.
Well, thank you for sharing. That was a blast to listen to, and I'm sure a blast to experience. Not surprised that you cried. Sounds like the appropriate reaction.
I will go see Beyonce anytime she's performing for the rest of my life. I don't
I
care how
love
much
that.
money it costs.
Yeah. Yeah. I
That
mean,
is,
I saw her at Formation and it was
yeah,
life affirming.
yeah. This is my third Beyonce show, by the way. I went to On the Run 1,
Mm,
Formation, did not go to On the Run 2, because I decided I don't need to spend some of my money to watch Jay-Z. I'm only spending my money to watch Beyonce.
right.
And now Renaissance. And I will be ready for enlightenment or
Yeah.
anointed or whatever it is she's going to call act two.
We're ready for it, Beyonce. I don't know what exactly is taking you so long, but we are ready.
By the way, reports came out that um that the visuals have been shot and completed. Did we talk about this last week?
I don't know, but we've heard that for like since the album was
Well,
released.
but now we know that they're being shopped around to the studios, and that
Which I find interesting because doesn't she have a Netflix deal?
I don't know. Well, she put Homecoming on Netflix, but then she put Black is King on Disney. I
But
think
Black is King was connected to The Lion King.
well, sure. I think they're going to end up on Amazon.
Interesting. I thought she had a multiple project deal with Netflix.
Who knows?
Interesting. Well, I mean, you could give it to us tomorrow and you can give it to us in 50 years. I will be seated and will be watching. Did you know, here's a fun fact about me and Beyonce, that Beyonce's Homecoming was playing in the background when I had a threesome.
Actually, that's cute.
That's a true
I
story.
should do that next time somebody comes and eats
Yeah,
my ass.
that is a true story.
Hmm. Okay.
So Beyonce and I are very well connected.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys have share a moment.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Also, Beyonce, come on the pod.
Beyonce, come on the
Beyonce,
pod.
come on the pod.
It doesn't even have to technically be an interview. We could just talk some shit.
Yeah, I mean, we won't even talk. We'll just
If you want to
listen.
just talk at us, we're willing to just sit here.
We could agree to no questions.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
What do you want to tell us?
Yeah,
And
Beyonce,
do you
think about it.
remember me?
She
Because
probably does.
let me pull up the footage and then she'll
There
remember.
is footage.
Yeah,
There
there is
is
footage.
there is footage.
Yeah.
And every time you post it, I cry a little bit inside out of jealousy.
Well, I have screen recorded that thing multiple times. There's one in a safe, there's one in every email account that I have.
I love it.
It's backed up, backed up, backed up. There is a
I love it.
small, there is the smallest flash drive you could ever find. It is up my asshole, and it is for safekeeping with that screen recorded video.
In 150 years, when Adrian dies, he wants that to play on a loop at his funeral.
Don't even think about making a slideshow of photos of me.
No,
Okay?
he just wants that on a loop.
Yeah.
He wants a tombstone that you can put a screen on, and then that plays
Yeah.
on the loop in the
Yeah.
cemetery to entertain all the other dead people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's true.
I love that.
And I'm
I
not
love that.
sorry. Okay.
And you
I'm not
shouldn't be.
sorry.
And you shouldn't be.
Whatever. Whatever.
If that were me, I would find a way to get that video tattooed on my forehead. I mean, you wouldn't be able to shut me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Well.
told everyone at work about it
Oh. And what did they say?
because I was on your Instagram at work.
Uh-huh.
And then I saw that you had posted it because it was Beyonce's birthday, the
Mm-hmm.
day after or something, or it
Mm-hmm.
was still on your story. And I was like, oh my God, I forgot to tell you guys. Oh, because I made a joke, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, isn't it nice that work gave us a day off yesterday for Beyonce's birthday?
Uh-huh.
And everyone was like, yesterday was Beyonce's birthday. I was like, oh, I'm so embarrassed to work with all of you. And
Uh-huh.
then I was like, my friend actually met her. And then I pulled up
Uh-huh.
your Instagram and I was like, watch this. They
Uh-huh.
were all in awe.
Uh-huh. Did
They were like,
anybody
how was she? Was she nice? I was like,
uh-huh.
an angel sent from goddamn heaven.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Nobody was like, oh, he's cute.
I mean, I work with a lot of married men
Yeah.
to
And
women.
that's never stopped
You're
them
right.
before.
You're right. You're right. And they should be able to appreciate someone's beauty regardless of gender. So that's on them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna next time I go into the office, I'm gonna be like, why didn't you find my friend Adrian cute?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I'm doing it.
Okay. Yeah.
Great.
And I hope that one man bakes me cookies. Or what did he make?
He's the cupcakes?
Oh, cupcakes.
Cupcakes.
Well,
I
tell
haven't
him
seen
I
that
like
guy.
cookies.
I haven't seen that guy in a while.
Yeah, because you rejected him.
I mean, sir, literally, sir, old gentleman.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, listen, that was the Renaissance tour. Um, happy to have lived it.
I'm
Yeah.
happy that you lived it as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, now it's time for America's favorite segment on any podcast, according to me. It's time for the pop culture pop up. First up on the pop culture pop up, we talked about this last week, but now there's more details. Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner are getting a divorce.
Yes.
And it seems like every day there's a new story about what is happening between Joe and Sophie.
Yeah.
Um, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, Julie.
Okay, I will.
Um, they've been separated for some time.
Yes, according to reports.
Yes. There were something was said on TMZ that said that she was partying too much, uh,
Yeah,
and he didn't want to do that, and so they were growing apart in that sense.
right.
I believe I also saw that she um was having a hard time after the birth of the second baby, maybe. Um, and that's as far as I know. What else do we know, Julie?
Well, the timeline that I remember is that they, rumor has it they're getting a divorce. Then it was the reason why they're getting divorced is because she parties too hard. She doesn't want to be at home. Then it was, Joe's been taking care of the kids by him. It was, I corrected you incorrectly last time
Mm,
because it was that they were saying that Joe Jonas was taking care of the kids, and she was not. And then there was like photos that were posted from a party that she was at and videos from a party. Turns out it was from a rap party for a show or movie that she recently did. And so rap parties are a thing in Hollywood. They happen all the time for all the projects. And then it was that Joe made the decision to get a divorce after he caught Sophie Turner saying something over the Ring camera. Then Sophie Turner's PR team got in the game, and that's when we heard that the reason why there was a rift between them was because Joe Jonas was not fully supportive after she had the second baby and she was going through a little bit of postpartum. And so I think Sophie Turner finally got the hang of what the hell is going on. And what is going on is that this is a very clear PR smear campaign against Sophie Turner. Like, it's very clear that it's what it is. Open your eyes, you will see it. I apologize to all the Joe Jonas fans, but you should know that he's a horrible human being for allowing this to happen to the mother of his children. And let us not forget, because I won't let ya, that Joe Jonas started dating Sophie Turner when she was 19 and he was 29. And
mm,
they got married when she was 24,
mm-hmm,
23 or 24. Yeah, babe, maybe she does want to party. She let her 20s go to two children. Of
mm-hmm.
course she wants to party. Of course she's realized, especially if she went through postpartum.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not going to shame any mother for wanting to party. I wouldn't even shame a mother for wanting to leave her children with their father.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, okay, and are they with an adult? Is the adult their literal parent? Okay, I don't see a problem with this.
Right. They're 7 years apart. Um, he's 34 and she's 27. Um, but
The starting to date at 19 is a little weird for me.
right.
I mean, just 19, it just you're still a teenager.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. It's just so sad. I mean, there's children involved. Um, like it's always funny when people are like asking for privacy in these types of situations when what ends up happening is it's the same people, whether it's them directly or people who work for them, who are releasing a lot of these stories. Um, and it's just like, what is the what is the reason? There should like go talk to your friends about it. Go talk shit about your ex to your friends. You don't need to try to ruin somebody's career or try like you're literally um defaming them, questioning their character to the entire world.
The world.
And it's not like, and the internet doesn't erase things. Your children are going to grow up one day and read these things. I mean,
It,
it doesn't matter how bad somebody may be or how challenging of a time it may be. Like, people go through a lot of things, and especially when you're famous, like, there's no rule book on how to be famous. There's no rule book on how to go through having every single person on the internet talk about you. Like, give somebody a little bit of grace, you know?
yeah, no, totally. Give them grace. And I personally don't really understand when celebrities make statements or speak out of on things that are still current. You're still in the middle of it, and you don't know how you'll end up feeling about it. Maybe right now sucks. Maybe right now is confusing. Maybe right now you're angry, but you don't know how you're going to end up. You don't know how you're going to feel at the end of this. What if you come to see things in her way? What if you realize that you have been fucking up? And look at what you're doing, not only to your partner, but to the mother of your children. And if you're a Joe Jonas fan and you're out there and you're like, I don't think Joe Jonas would this. I don't think this is a smear campaign. I don't think that it's Joe Jonas working to speak bad about Sophie Turner. I personally find it very interesting that I had never seen Sophie Turner and Joe Jonas's children. I've never seen them. I've seen them pictured, but like in a stroller. I have never seen them really. And suddenly, Joe Jonas is being paparazzied with his two kiddos and a nanny and a nanny. But now he's being pictured with his two kiddos. This is a very clear smear campaign. And I don't know if there was infidelity behind the scenes that he doesn't want to come out. I don't know if there's something deeper behind the scenes, but he's definitely trying to get in front of something in a very nasty, nasty way.
Right. And he also hasn't come out and said any, like, if it wasn't him, why isn't he coming out and saying all of these things are not true? This is the mother of my children.
Right.
Leave her the fuck alone.
Which is interesting that he's trying to paint her as this like party goer when there's documented TikTok videos of them where they do like couples challenges and they're like, who's the homebody of the couple? And they both accept that it's Sophie.
Mm.
And there's interviews of Sophie being like, I don't really like to go out. I kind of like to stay home. And now she's being painted as this person. When I've seen videos with my own two eyes of Joe Jonas clearly under the influence of alcohol on stage with the Jonas Brothers.
Oh, of
So
course.
I don't know what are you doing in this day and age of social media when everything is remembered forever? What are you doing and why are you doing it to the mother of your children? It is nasty behavior. It's very nasty behavior. And the only thing I'm thankful for is the fact that the audiences now are a little bit smarter to not just take this as face value. Unfortunately, there are going to be some that are going to be like, yeah, Joe Jonas fans that are going to be like, Sophie Turner fucking sucks. And she's a horrible mother. But I think for the most part, people are becoming aware as to what's happening and why there's such negativity around Sophie Turner. It all has to do with Joe Jonas and him giving the order.
Right. Also, the Jonas Brothers are a lot more powerful and probably more connected than a Sophie Turner. And so
100%.
they have the ability to put out a PR machine because they've been doing it for a very long time. Remember those what do you call those? The rings.
Promise rings.
The promise rings.
Or where is it like purity
Purity
rings?
rings. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
fucking losers.
I know.
Jesus Christ.
And liars, by the way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's not
Yeah.
forget that the Jonas Brothers are notorious liars because also there's that other fake relationship in that family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm talking about Nick and Priyanka, not
Yeah.
Kevin and Danielle. Kevin and Danielle.
I was gonna
Kevin and
say,
Danielle are the only genuine ones.
I was going to say that's the only couple I believe in the world, maybe, to be
Right.
honest.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, next up on the pop culture pop up, Jimmy Fallon. There was an article released in the Rolling Stone today, basically saying that Jimmy Fallon has created a very toxic workplace environment at the Tonight Show, and
That's my pretending to be shocked face.
and I don't know if it's current or former employees who are
Current and former employees,
current and
baby.
former employees who are who talked to the Rolling Stone. Julie, what do we know?
Yeah, we know what we've been new. We know what we've been new. I've been waiting on this one. I've been waiting. I knew it was brewing. I knew it was brewing. Confirming just a lot of things that we kind of already knew. I'll get you a couple of excerpts from the article on Rolling Stone. It says there was good Jimmy days and there was bad Jimmy days, according to employees. So sometimes he'd be really witty and creative, and sometimes not so much. He was clearly drunk sometimes on set, and that's a rumor that we've all heard and we all know deeply in our hearts and souls that he is an alcoholic. um the 7 former employees say their mental health was impacted by their alleged experiences working at the Tonight Show. They would joke there. It was a known joke around the show that they would call the dressing rooms of celebrities the crying rooms, because it's where people would go to relieve their feelings. They said the former staffers who spoke to Rolling Stone requested anonymity out of fear of retaliation. They worked in a large no, they worked in a range of positions on the show, from production crew members to office staffers, and in the show's writers' rooms. Yeah, a lot of mental health issues. There's one story, I don't know if it's here, if someone else brought it up somewhere else, but there's a story of Jimmy Fallon. I'm trying to find it so I can read it word for word, but it's going to take me too long, so I'm just going to paraphrase it for you all. There's a story of Jimmy Fallon berating an employee. Is it here? No, but there is a lot of stories of him berating employees. But there's he was screaming at an employee for something or another in front of Seinfeld. What's his first name?
Jerry.
Jerry Seinfeld. And it got so uncomfortable that Jerry Seinfeld asked Jimmy Fallon to apologize to the staffer. It got so bad.
I think that's saying a lot too.
I agree. It says here, there's a quote: when something was wrong, we all knew how to behave afterward, which was just sort of avoid eye contact and don't make another mistake. It would happen over the smallest thing. We would have to shut the whole thing down. The sketch isn't happening. And when things like that would happen, you would just beat yourself up. Sometimes we would get nice Jimmy, but that sometimes was not a lot. It was just really, really sad to me that this really talented man, it's subjective, really talented man created such a horrible environment for the people there. Oh, it says right here. Sorry, I found it. Two employees remember witnessing Fallon scold the crew member who was in charge of his cue cards in the middle of a taping with comedian Jerry Seinfeld. They say it was an uncomfortable moment. Seinfeld told Fallon to apologize to the cue card production member, which he then allegedly did. The employees say this incident, which felt awkward to watch, did not make it to the version of the show that appeared on television. Oh, he did it for television. It was very awkward, and Jerry was like, you should apologize to him, almost trying to make it a joke. It was one of the strangest moments ever, and so many people were there, so it's kind of hard to forget.
Yeah, I mean, soon into Jimmy Fallon's tenure as the Tonight Show host, there was an article about how NBC executives are worried about his drinking. And I very distinctly remember that article coming out because he has hurt himself like to the point where I don't remember, I think it was his hand, where he like really severely hurt his hand. And I think the idea and the consensus was that he hurt it while he was very intoxicated. That kind of ran away. I don't know this to be true. This is me only knowing what happens on the internet. There is somebody on the internet who goes by the name T Kyle. And I think T Kyle is hilarious. He is very incredibly smart. T Kyle used to do social for Watch What Happens Live and Bravo. Okay. And he was very, very good at it. He left Bravo and went over to the Tonight Show. And soon after he was at the Tonight Show, he left that job. I don't know T. Kyle. I do know these things about him because he has shared them. But it did not seem like the Tonight Show, which I think he was very excited about doing, is going from Watch What Happens Live to the Tonight Show. I'm sure was a massive thing. And when so much of the industry is now like on the internet, I'm sure that was a really big job. He left the Tonight Show soon after.
Interesting.
And I think in part because it was not the healthiest of environments.
Right.
Again, I don't know T. Kyle. I only follow T. Kyle online. T. Kyle hosts his own podcast. He is a very wickedly smart person, from what I can tell. T. Kyle, if you want to come on Yumi and Chisme, let me know. If anybody knows T. Kyle, you know. But I mean, it's just very easy to believe this story. He definitely has a drinking problem. I think that I think also what tends to happen with people like Jimmy Fallon and Ellen and things like that, not to excuse any of their behavior, because at the end of the day, you're an individual who is making conscious decisions. But I do think that there is such a kind of like rise of success to their shows that there is then pressure put on people, and then that pressure gets then translated to the people who are actually doing the work. And this is the same for any industry. I mean, this is why toxic environments are created, I think, in large part at places where it's like the demand is so high and such of the expectations are so high that people lose their minds. And they begin to treat people in a way that is completely inexcusable and nasty. And if you are not a person in control enough of your own emotions and actions, you're gonna turn into these nasty people. And I think that is also, I mean, it's the Tonight Show. Like, who cares? It's not that serious.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, the only people who should be taking their job seriously are doctors.
Right.
Anything else does not matter.
Especially with these these specific, like the late night show and the Ellen show, these shows that radiate so much joy, or attempt to on the Tonight Show end. But they radiate so much joy and happiness. You would think that it would just be a blast to work there, but it's not. And I mean, look, I get it. Television, it is hard. Television is hard work. Television is, constantly on a deadline. I understand the stress and the pressures that are natural with that kind of work. And then there's added pressure based on people's personality and lack of respect for other human beings. And that's where I don't find a justification for it. When it comes to just disrespecting people for shits and giggles, it's not, or because you just cannot be bothered to do it differently. That's exhausting to me. And I don't know, shame on literally every single person that acts like that.
Right. Totally. Totally. And like, it's like he
Yes.
also sucks at his job. Like,
Well, look, I didn't want to say it, but I did say it at work the other day. Before this even came out, I must have sensed something was going to happen. Jimmy Fallon, I'm going on record, and I've gone on record, I think, already on this podcast, is the worst interviewer
yeah.
of all time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would argue that the only actual good interviewer in any of these all late night show hosts, the network ones,
Mm-hmm.
would have been Conan O'Brien.
Mm.
I think he did the least listening technique where he had actual conversations with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I just saw a clip earlier today of Jimmy Fallon interviewing Dakota Johnson, who I don't love, but I do love her sassiness. And she's trying to tell us, he keeps asking her about the story she's telling and keeps interrupting her in the middle of the story. And she says something like, "Aren't you supposed to let people talk on the show?"
I've seen that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there there was a conscious decision made at a certain point where um they decided to go with Jimmy Fallon, who is a sketch comedy actor and not a stand-up comedian, nor somebody who should be interviewing anybody. And he happened to be at the right place at the right time with the internet, and he happened to have a good staff that made his videos, his segments on his shows go viral.
Mm-hmm.
And NBC saw that and said, we need to put him in the Tonight Show right away. And then that's what they did. And, you know, I mean, also, he is a product of Lorne Michaels. And Lorne Michaels, I'm sure, is a nasty, nasty man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and, you know, you learn it from somebody. People don't just grow up being nasty people, or you're not born being a nasty person. You have to learn it
Mm-mm.
from somewhere. Um, and so that whole culture is just so incredibly toxic. And for what? Most of your shows are not relevant. Most of your jokes aren't funny. Um, and it's a dying industry, and they're trying so hard to hold on to it.
Yeah.
And now we get this. Um, you know,
Yeah.
so I don't know. Will he make it back after the writer's strike? I don't know.
Probably. He's a white man.
Right, right, right. I mean, a best time for it to come out is now when he's not on TV.
I agree.
They should have
I
done it when
agree.
he was on TV. But I
Yeah.
guess, you can't sit on a story like that for too long.
Right.
Okay. Next, finally on the pop culture pop up, Danny Masterson of that 70s show has been sentenced to, is it 30 years? 30 years,
30 years.
30 years to life in prison for rape, I believe is the charge.
Yes.
Um there was an original trial that that nothing came out. I think it was mistrialed, or they couldn't come to a conclusion.
I believe so,
Uh
yeah.
and now word just came out that in the second attempt he has now been sentenced to 30 years to life. Um in addition to him being a horrible person and raping these women, there's also another story here. He's a Scientologist, and there's been a lot of talk about how he has been protected by the Church of Scientology. And so this is a huge, I think, blow to the Church of Scientology, but also a victory for the victims that he did these horrible things to. Julie, what
I
else do you
agree.
know?
There was I did hear a little bit about one of the Jane Doe's victim statements. I don't know if you heard about her victim statement where she talks about the day that she gave her oh, what's it called? Testimony?
Mm-hmm.
Testimony about what had happened. She had a little bit of a panic attack and had to go to the bathroom in the courthouse where she ran into Alana Masterson, who is Danny's sister, who then proceeded to try to intimidate her into retracting her statement. So if ever you are wondering if it was just Danny who was a horrible person, turns out his entire family is. Alana Masterson was on The Walking Dead. Um, that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't know what else she's been in, but I think if you are ever wondering if the Masterson family is okay to support, that story should give you enough knowledge to say that no, you shouldn't support them.
Yeah. Um, I I'm glad that they were able to do the retrial. I'm not entirely sure what happened the first time. But it's good to see that that it was able to happen again, and they were
I
able to
agree.
get a good conviction here. Um, I mean, listen, I
I agree.
it's
I agree.
so there's so much happening because the Church of Scientology, I think, is
A dangerous entity.
it's so crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's so crazy because like it's a cult, and
100%.
it is just out in the open and roaming free.
Yeah.
And um that is what's really really kind of crazy about it.
Yeah.
um, and I think also goes to show what money can do for people, because they've clearly been able to get away with things. um they have streets named after them here in LA.
Yeah.
um and it's just very wild, and I hope um let Danny be a lesson to all of these people who think that they can get away with anything
Yeah.
because they have somebody or who they think is protecting them.
Hmm.
um you're all gonna die and burn in hell,
Every single one of you.
or at least rot in prison.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully.
um you know he got what he deserved.
100%.
Okay, that's going to do it for the Pop Culture Pop-Up. We'll be back next week with more Pop Culture Chisme. Julie, do you have a next spotlight for us?
I do. Season 2 of This Fool is now on Hulu. I just started watching it. It's been out for a little bit, but I just got into it. It's really, really good. The show is created by Chris Estrada. It's on Hulu, season 2. It's a comedy. It's a cute little comedy. Um, Julio Lopez has a heart of gold and goes out of his way to help everyone but himself. Julio attempts to better his community, overcome his codependency issues with his family, and navigate working class life in South Central. It's really great. And it also has a really beautiful underlying theme of how incarceration can affect people and how rehabilitation is not really a thing that happens within the system. It's a thing that often community puts together to try to help the people that come out from being incarcerated. And it's just a beautiful story. We got a cute little PR package from them with the mug and stuff so we could watch the show. It's a really, really, really good show. It's really funny. I need you guys to start listening to me when I tell you to go watch a show. Because I told every single one of you, go watch The Great, and none of you did. And you know what happened now? It's canceled. It's canceled. Who do we have to thank for that? Every single one of you that didn't listen to my advices. No one had any faith that Adrian would do it. But I at least had faith that you guys would, and you didn't. And now it's canceled. You know what else is canceled? How I Met Your Father is canceled.
Uh, Hillary.
Hillary.
Ugh,
I thought we were going to see Hillary fuck.
it's time to bring back Lizzie McGuire.
Disney doesn't want to see Hillary fuck.
Mm,
Who's the father?
what is it?
So I need you guys to watch this fool, because if this show is, it's a little bit of joy. It's a little bit of joy in the overwhelming content that is often traumatic, dramatic, sad. A little bit of joy. Can we get just a giggle? And this fool provides constant giggles. It's really, really funny. If I was gonna say if you're like, oh, Julie, I can only watch 2 shows this year, I would say watch this fool and watch Primo. Those are the 2 best shows that I've seen this year. They're both really, really funny, both family oriented, both representation for the Latinx community that we all need and love. And it's just really, really good content. So this fool is on Hulu, and there are 2 seasons that are out right now.
Great. Thank you,
Thank
Julie.
you.
I will be watching.
No, you won't.
Okay.
It's not even why would you even lie to my
I'm
face?
not, I'm not
To
lying.
my face?
I'm not lying.
Okay.
I'm not lying. It's time for some azúcar. I will go first. My azúcar this week is London Grammar. Have you ever heard of the band London Grammar? Yeah.
Yeah.
They are celebrating 10 years of their
Oh,
album
damn.
If You Wait. It is one of my favorite albums of all
Oh.
time. If You Wait by London Grammar, please check it out. It's like haunting, beautiful music. It's not like you're not playing it at a party. It is so I have played it as I drift into sleep many a times. I have played it when I have been sad, when I have been sad and sad. um,
Mm-hmm.
it's a really, really spectacular, beautiful album. The vocals are incredible. It's spectacular. It's one of my favorites. 10 years. If You Wait. It's on
10
Spotify or
years.
wherever you listen to
Okay.
music.
I
Yes.
love that. Wonderful. My azúcar is I just powered through Survivor Second Chances. And let me tell you something about that season.
Oh, wow.
Let me tell you the drama of it all.
Uh-huh.
Constant drama, jaw on the floor consistently.
Uh-huh.
Brilliant season for many reasons. I'll tell you all of them.
Uh-huh.
Brilliant season because it was Second Chances was a lot of older, a lot of past not a lot. All of them were past contestants who
Uh-huh.
they didn't win, so they're coming back for a second chance. And
Uh-huh.
so they all know how the game works. So there was no awkward introductions. There was no awkward trying to be the show, trying to be the star of the show. There was no awkward secondhand embarrassment. It was constantly great interactions, strategies, blindsides like you wouldn't believe. I went into every single tribal, every single one, not knowing what these fuckers were gonna do. It was never clear. They would sit down for tribal and I'd say, it is anybody could get voted out. I have no idea what any of these bitches are thinking. I don't know it. And I'm so happy that Jeremy won because I was rooting for him from the beginning because I
Uh-huh.
remember his season and I remember rooting for him back then.
Uh-huh.
I thought he played a very intelligent game. I thought it was very smart to keep the family on the back burner when it came to speaking about it loudly, because he's right. His season, that's the reason why people didn't want to go with him to the end, because they knew he was likable and they knew that he had the family angle. And this time around, he was like, you don't get to know not one thing about me, ladies and
Uh-huh.
gentlemen. And it worked for him and he won. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant season. Abby somehow a little bit more likable, not fully. I still hate her guts. I still do hate her guts, but a little bit more likable. I thought it was a great season. The only thing that depressed me about the season, I'll tell you, is that Wu got voted off so soon, because I really, really like Wu. I think he is brilliant. I think he is lovely. I think he is kind. I wish we would have seen a little bit more of him. And I don't think they gave him, one, enough screen time, and two, that he just got voted off a little bit too soon.
This was a great season. Second chances.
Great season.
Yeah, I'm really happy that Jeremy made it. He won.
Same.
Love Tasha.
Love Tasha.
You want to know, this season also featured one of my favorite players.
Interesting. Okay.
Uh, and maybe I'm a little embarrassed to say this, but Stephen Fishback
Okay.
is one of my favorite Survivor players, because I had a huge crush on
Wait,
him.
Steven Fishback?
Uh-huh.
Isn't his first name not different?
No, what else
Oh,
is
okay. I don't know why I thought his first name was Dominic.
what?
I thought Steven was the. Are you talking about the blonde one?
No.
The blonde one is Steven.
Can you Google Stephen Fishback so you
Let's
know
see.
who I'm talking about?
Okay, let's see. Is it the one with the glasses? Is his name really Steven?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I
yeah.
don't know why. What's the blonde one's name?
I think you're thinking of Spencer.
Spencer. Okay. You're right.
Yeah.
Steven. Okay.
I had a big crush on Stephen in his first season.
I can see that. I found him insufferable.
I know.
Someone that analytic,
I
I
know.
find them
I
so
know.
irritating.
Particularly in this season. I don't know if you've ever seen his first season, but I thought
I
he
think I
was.
did, and I think I also found him insufferable.
Yeah, okay.
I think
Not
he's
to say that
very
he's the end all
cute.
be all. He's not the end all be all, by the way. But there was just something about him that I found very attractive. I mean,
I
yeah,
think
he's cute.
he's very cute, but I do think the cuteness wears off after making me a solid 4 minutes of him talking.
And I don't know, it didn't bother me. I did
Interesting.
find him frustrating in the season because he was trying to play a little bit too much, too hard.
He was very stressful this season. I was
I
like,
know
"Can
he
you breathe?
was.
Have you laughed before?"
I know. But I kind of like that. I don't know what it is.
Interesting.
But yeah.
I really liked Spencer and the way he really was like, "Okay, you're gonna be a human this season."
Yeah, Spencer did a good job. Spencer doesn't do it for me. I'm not the biggest fan of Spencer, but I did think he did a better job at playing.
Yeah, I think he really actually worked towards making some connections, which I appreciate. Yeah, I really liked the entire list of contestants. I mean, there was a little bit of annoying people here and there, but like I think I didn't find it that irritating because all these people knew what was happening and they've been here before. And so a lot of the reason why I skip a lot of Survivor. Like I fast forward through a lot of stuff because I find so many conversations to give me secondhand embarrassment. Because it's a mixture of these people trying to be the smartest one in the island, also
Uh,
trying to be the shiniest star on that
uh,
television. You know what I mean? Like they really are like, this is my moment to shine. I'm going to be on national TV. I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to be dramatic. I'm going to be, you know what I mean? It's like they form little personalities that are often so irritating. And this one, I feel like worked with a lot less of that because it was people that just knew what to do. And they were all so smart. All of them were 10 steps ahead of each other, which is, I think, why they often got fucked around and found out because they were thinking way too ahead of themselves.
yeah.
But it was great. And I'm telling you, I personally, I know in the island, a lot of people did. Me as an audience member, constantly blindsided. Constantly. I'd go into tribal being like, I think this is what they're gonna do. And then they'd get there and then it'd be like, oh, that's not what they did at all. That's not what they did at all. Then there was that first time in history where no one got any votes because both of the people that got votes had idols.
Yeah.
Jaw on the floor.
Yeah,
How
this
many
was a
times
good
I
season.
screamed at my TV to be like, Jeremy, get it together. You're trusting too many people.
Yeah.
Please use your freaking idol. Please
Yeah.
use your idol.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was a great season. I'm back on the Survivor train, ladies and
Okay.
gentlemen. I had
Okay.
paused it because it does give me anxiety that makes my tummy hurt, but
Uh-huh.
I'm back on it. I'm gonna start the next season probably today.
Uh-huh.
You know what I do like?
Huh.
This is a little morbid, but I do like a season with a lot of medical emergencies
Oh God.
because it's dramatics that
But
you
you
don't
won't
prepare
watch the
for.
challenges?
No, I do watch the challenge. I don't watch the talking. I only watch the challenges and the
Oh.
tribal. I don't like the strategy part of it because I find it really cringe sometimes because I'm like, you have no idea what the fuck's going on and you think you do. But I love the challenges, but when someone passes out, I live for it because that's
Yeah.
not something you can prepare for.
Yeah.
If a doctor comes on set, oh my God. This last season, Tasha almost drowned
Yeah.
and she had to get some divers to go help her. Oh, I was like, first of all, relatable. Second of all, I live for this drama because
Yeah.
this isn't something that you can prepare for as an audience member. They are definitely can't prepare for when what's his name? Joe passed out after
Uh,
when he finished that. Do you know what I'm talking about? He's holding the
uh,
pole and then he
yeah.
passes out afterwards and
Uh,
everyone cheers.
uh,
They cheer because he lost and they wanted him to lose so he wouldn't get immunity anymore. But
yeah.
when everyone cheered, but then he's on the floor and then they go, there's like this gasp that they all
Uh,
do. Oh,
yeah. You're
TV at
you're
its
sick and
finest.
sadistic.
I know. I
Uh,
know. I didn't find it funny that he passed out. I did find their reaction funny
I know
because
what
they
you
were
mean.
so happy that
Yeah.
he was on the ground
Yeah. I know.
until they realized that
Because
he was unconscious.
that's the only way they were going to get him out is if he didn't win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, happy that you're back on that train.
Thank you so much. I'm also happy I'm on this train. I really want to get a Survivor contestant on the show.
Okay. Pick your favorite one.
I really want to try to make that happen because I think that would be such a fun conversation. And I'm dying to know where they poop. I'm dying to know. I'm dying to know where they poop.
You could probably
I
Google it.
I have no. I want to hear it from
Okay.
someone
Yeah.
specifically. Mark my words. We will have someone from Survivor on this podcast before the end of the year.
Oh my gosh.
I'm making that promise. I'm going to be on the hunt now to find someone to come on the show.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Excellent. Mark your calendars.
Mark your calendars.
Okay. Well, that is going to do it for us. We've reached the end of the episode.
We got here.
Make sure that you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, at Yumi and Chisme. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure that you visit our website, sign up for the newsletter, read all of Julie's wonderful reviews. Make sure that you rate, review, do all the wonderful things that you could do with this podcast on the internet. A nice little review would be very wonderful and we would be very appreciative.
Yeah, we would.
And make sure that you share it with somebody because
tell your friends.
One share goes a long way.
Yes.
And then we'll be back next week with more Chisme. But until then, make sure you have lots of love, lots of peace, and most importantly, lots of Chisme in your life. Bye.
Bye.